It's time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. K100, for all your gas-powered equipment, make water burn. Yamaha, rev your heart.
We're here in Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the 10th annual Johnny Appleseed Festival and the Lumberjack competition. We got a fantastic field of competitors from all over North America, 77 in total, competing for over $14,000 in prize money. Well, this is my 4th time to Sheffield, Pennsylvania for the Johnny Appleseed Festival, named after John Chapman, born in the 1700s. He is actually the guy who introduced apple trees to the state of Pennsylvania. Just before the show got started, I had a chance to talk to Dave Jewett, veteran competitor from New York. Dave, you're a competitor in a solid field of competitors. This week we're covering the endurance event and the 3-board jigger board, springboard event. Explain to me what that is.
It's funny, it has a lot of names around the world. The boards, the springboard, the tree. It is called the jigger board at this show because we're going up, then we're going to descend, then go back up the other side of the pole. So it's a 12-inch block, 3 boards up. So a lot of the win is in how to stack your boards. You've got to get that 3rd board up. You're standing at 10 feet, chop halfway through a 12-inch block, descend, restack your boards, then go back the other side, and you have to line up. So you're kind of going around counterclockwise, line up with your scarf, 3 boards up, cut the backside off of that log, and you have to actually watch. The guy's got to pull their bottom board out, or have somebody do it, rather, because when that block is severed, it'll actually hit that bottom board and it'll break it. So there's a lot to think about in the jigger board event.
Well, this event is not seen anywhere in North America. In total, we had 17 competitors compete in this event. We're going to be showing you the top 2 heats. This first heat, we got Adam LaSalle taking on Cecil Starr. Now, explain exactly what a handicap system here is in lumberjack sports, where we've got a range of competitors that have never done it before to some of the best in the world.
Obviously, it's very similar to what a handicap system is in golf. The better you get, the lower your handicap goes. In lumberjack sports, actually, the handicap is reverse of that. The better you are, the higher your handicap, because what happens is on the word go, the announcer will start counting 1, 2, 3 seconds off until he gets to whatever the highest handicap is. In this event, it happens to be 100 for the world champ, Mitch Hewitt.
Now, Adam LaSalle actually started on the 50-second mark. Cecil Starr started on the 59-second mark. And you see the guys taking it a little bit gingerly. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. So you see not quite the same amount of energy as the regular springboard event. They're taking it easy, taking it slow, and most of all, playing it safe. You can see Adam LaSalle, he's throwing his boards down. And at this point in time, he's already climbed up 3 boards, chopped halfway through his block, and he's got to catch his breath as well.
2 things happening here. Number 1, some of the guys are scared of heights. Usually they only go up 2 boards in springboard event. This one they're going up 3. The second thing is it's a 4-minute event, so most of these guys are going to chop here for 4 to 5 minutes. So you're right, it is a marathon, and they do have to pace themselves. And also the other factor that happens once they get up on the 3rd board, 10 feet off the ground, is they're worrying about their nerves and their balance.
Coming up in the end of the first heat here, Cecil Starr looks like he's going to take down Adam LaSalle. He's just over 5 minutes right now, and there it is, Cecil Starr winning the first heat of the 3-board jigger here in Johnny Appleseed Festival. That's quite an adventure. Just tell me your experience in that, or is that your first time?
When I was in Australia a few years ago, well, 10 or 12 years ago, I did it down there, and the first time I did it, it's wild being up that high chopping compared to what we're used to, but do it here once a year, and actually, I enjoy it a bit. It's kind of really scared of the heights or falling or nothing, as long as it's not too bad, but I'm not really good at it. You get a lot of little mistakes, and the whole thing about the 3-board, talking to Mitch on the way down, there's just so many, don't make the little mistakes, and I made a pile of them there, and you can knock 30 seconds off your time, right? So it's lots to improve, but not too bad.
Okay, this next heat will be the final heat. We got Jason McCadden starting on the count of 30. Nathan Waterfield taking on Mitch Hewitt. Nathan's actually going to start on 80, and Mitch Hewitt, one of the best in the world, is going to be starting on the count of 100. That's a minute and a half.
And the American champion right now, reigning champion Matt Coker, he's going to start on 75. So this will be a great heat to watch. And here we go. Jason's already off
He's off in a 30 count, and he's going to have a 70-second head start on Mitch Hewitt, who's going to go last in this heat. So he's got himself, and I don't know if Jason's done this before. He's from Auburn, New York, relative newcomer to the sport of lumberjacks, and he's obviously done the springboard chop. Likely his first time here doing the three-board jigger.
Three-board jigger done a lot down in Australia, New Zealand. That's where we see it a lot, of course, and that's where Mitch Hewitt has won the, I think he's like the 12th or 14th time he's won the three-board jigger board. So it's going to be fun to watch Mitch when he starts. Again, he's got a whole, minute and a half almost behind the rest of the field when he starts.
Oh, it looks like Jason almost lost his board there, and part of the strategy is being able to set your board on the board that you're standing on. He's got a good board set there, looks pretty comfortable with it, and there goes Matt Koger. He's off to the race. He's going to try and track down Jason McCadden, and he looks like he's really got a sloppy notch there. He's going to want to deal with that, I'm not sure.
He's actually butchered the notch here, and you can see there's a little wall of wood left at the top. It has to be clean on the top. Doesn't matter how good of a competitor you are. If you don't get that little wall of wood out, it's going to peel out. And that's exactly what happened. His board bounced out of that.
Yeah, and Matt Koger started 5 seconds before Nathan Waterfield. Nathan has already overtaken Matt with that 5-second disadvantage. And here comes Mitch Hewitt, 20 seconds after Nathan, and he was starting on the count of 100. He's going to try and track him down.
This is going to be a showcase event here. Watch Mitch Hewitt. He does this all the time. It's just like clockwork watching him go with this event.
He knows exactly where to put his board on top of the board. Watch him grab the second board here. 4-hit notch. He's going to grab the second board, jam it in, and he's comfortable with that notch as he gets up top of his third board.
So see why Mitch looks so smooth is he does this all the time. He trains the three-board jigger board, so he knows every stroke is so efficient. He knows where his boards are going. He knows where his axe is going. He knows what he needs to do. And his notches, Mitch always has 4 to 6 stroke notches. So again, it's just a poetry in motion to watch Mitch Hewitt do a three-board jigger.
Time to beat, 4:50, set by Dave Engasser in an earlier heat. Mitch Hewitt bounces his way down to the bottom, back on the ground. Now about to start his fourth board. First board on the second side.
And he's just under 3 minutes. So Mitch has got a great pace going here. He should have no problem actually tracking down the fastest time here as we see Nathan Waterfield also getting ready to descend and start climbing his second side of his pole.
He's overtaken everybody in the field right now. Jason McCadden, who started 70 seconds ahead of him. There he is. He's now about to put the notch in for his 6th and final board. Nathan's going to try and track him down. He started 20 seconds ahead of Mitch. He's not going to catch Mitch.
Mitch is doing a 6-stroke pocket on the top just to make sure that top board is going to stay well, because again, he's going to do the second side here. This is the last stage of Mitch's jigger board here as he gets ready to put in his final side.
And Mitch Hewitt is very comfortable with his 6th and final board. He's got his back cut just slightly above his front cut. He's going to put some drivers in after opening up a face there. And look at those nice clean cuts after about 3-4 minutes of chopping. He's still right on his mark, and Mitch Hewitt wins a three-board jigger in time of 3:44.83.
Well, what a treat watching the world champ take down the field here at Johnny Appleseed.
Every time I watch you do the springboard chop, I try and do a critical analysis on your chopping, but it's very difficult when you're talking to one of the best guys in the world. Can you give me a critical analysis on that performance you just put on?
Oh, it was a reasonable cut. Like, I was pretty happy. Had to do a 6-hitter there up the back, but just to make sure of it. Other than that, it went pretty smooth, and no problems.
When you come down the first half there, you got the crowd oohing and awing because you got that mastered down as well. You bounced down there pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's a routine that you just practice, and you don't even think about it. You just come down and set yourself up for the back. So, it's just practice.
Well, certainly there's practice involved, but there's a whole lot of years of experience there for Mitch Hewitt as well. He annihilates the field by almost a minute over Nathan Waterfield. We're back here at the Lumberjack competition in Sheffield, Pennsylvania, and the 10th annual Johnny Appleseed Festival. Just before the show got started, we had a chance to talk to Dan Parson. He's been the head judge here since day one. Dan, you've been the head judge here at the Johnny Appleseed Festival Lumberjack competition for 10 years now. Now, I've been here for 4 years, and the competitors are getting better and better every year. Puts a little bit more pressure on you. Just tell me what it takes to be a good head judge.
Well, you got to be available for when they have questions. You got to be precise in your decisions. You can't hesitate, and we got to keep things moving and keep things quick and fast. But yet you got to give them time to get set up. You got to be fast, but not too fast.
And now we're going to be moving into the women's underhand chop. We had a field of 25 competitors. There were actually 5 heats of 5, and we're going to be showing the top 2 heats. This first heat, we have Kate Witkowski from Wisconsin taking on New Yorker Tracy Henning. We've seen Tracy in Lumberjacks TV series many times. Now this is the first time we've seen Kate Witkowski on Lumberjacks TV series. Should be a great matchup.
They're chopping 11 inches round of eastern white pine. And again, Johnny Appleseed has grown so much in 10 years. It's a premier event now across North America. It draws the best people from both ends of the country.
As they begin to open up their blocks there, it seems a little bit firm. As long as they hit their marks and hit with power, they should be okay. The wood is starting to move a little bit more as they make their way halfway through.
It is firm wood. You can see Tracy Henning here. She's swinging a new axe that Tuatai's is making down in New Zealand. It's called a kingi axe. It's a heavy axe, but it chops the wood really well, and she's actually has a much more slow and deliberate swing on her underhand chop. You can see Kate here trying to keep pace. Not really following her lines very well, but again, this is it's fairly big wood for the ladies, so they just keep their pace and stick with it right through the end.
Now Kate is on her backside. She seems to be picking up her pace a little bit here. She was sloppy in her front side. Looks like she did most of her homework on the front side. She shouldn't have too much further to go on the backside, and Tracy Henning's trying to catch her.
Losing a little bit of steam here. She's swinging that big heavy axe on the 11-inch underhand, but there it is. Kate brings it off with a 52.3 seconds.
And Tracy's falling off her block as she runs out of gas towards the end of her cut. So noticing, looking at your chop once it's over, I mean, a good chop, you're second in that heat, but just tell me about the importance of accuracy and trying to have a smooth surface on your cut.
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with that cut. I wasn't following my hits one after another. I think the block was a little firmer than I thought, so that kind of threw me off, and I started just going a little too fast for my axe. So.
Well, I've never heard that term before, Rod. Too fast for my axe. Can you explain that a little bit as we head into the last heat?
Yeah, what's going on there is basically her mind's overthinking what she's doing, and of course her axe isn't moving as fast as she wants it to, so she's trying to think ahead and move a little bit quicker, but she should be taking her time and actually making the swings count and hitting the right place.
With this last heat, we have Erin Lavoie taking on Martha King, two excellent choppers. Erin Lavoie coming to us all the way from Spokane, Washington. We've seen her before. She's an excellent, precise chopper.
And she's in great shape. This size of this wood isn't bothering her a bit as she swings over to side number 2, starts with her 2 big drivers on her power side, and she's going to be getting into the small wood here right quick, doing a great job here in this 11-inch pine.
Unbelievable transition from the front side to the back side for Erin Lavoie. She's got to try and take down the 52.36 hit by Witkowski in the first heat, and she's going to do is she start to dry things off. And there it is, Erin Lavoie winning the underhand chop in the women's division with a 32.73.
And talk about in great shape. She's not even breathing hard.
Erin, you had a perfect pattern on the front side there. I think you went 2 rounds and put your drivers in. So I counted 10. Was it 11?
Phil, I have no idea what the heck I did. There's like 3 patterns in my head that I run through over and over before I go out there, and depending on the wood and how I open up and how I feel, I pick one and I go, and when I finish, I have no idea what I did.
So it's a little bit of adjusting on the fly. Basically, it's nice wood. You see it's nice wood. Your axe is working well. On the backside, you had no complaints because you knew you did your work on the front side with some good drivers.
That was the thing, too, is I think I probably took 1 extra hit just because I knew that it's bit me before to not do the homework. So I wanted to be sure of it. I did it. I turned around, and then off to the races.
Well, Nancy and Julie actually tied for 4th place overall, but it was Erin Lavoie from the West Coast coming all the way east to take 1st place in the women's underhand chop.
The show director of the Johnny Appleseed Festival, Sandy Satili. Sandy, just tell me a little about Johnny Appleseed Festival. I know you worked very hard putting this together, and it just doesn't happen overnight. There's probably a lot of people involved, and there's obviously a lot of hours involved.
Absolutely. This is our 10th year, and we work 11 months out of the year to make the festival happen. We have approximately 50 volunteers that help us get the job done. We have sponsors that sponsor events, give us in-kind contributions, and that is one of the ways we raise the money for the festival. And again, a lot of it is by volunteerism, and we do sell raffle tickets and shirts and typical things like that to help raise our funds.
We are now moving into the Jack and Jill Buck. In total, we had 28 pair of competitors in 7 different heats of 4. We're going to be showing you the top 3 heats. This first heat, we got Tracy Henning and Chris Henning taking on the Waterfields, Holly and Nathan Waterfield, 16 inches round of white pine.
Well, we've seen both of these couples before on Lumberjacks TV. The Waterfields, of course, been sawing now for 10, 12 years together. The Hennings really picking up their game, and they know there's lots of great teams here, so they really got to put in a good cut.
Great start by both pair competitors. Look at the Hennings on the left-hand side. Chris and Tracy putting a lot of weight, banging handles, and look at that. They come down in the first heat with a time of 7.18, taking out Nathan and Holly Waterfield. And we got a great field of competitors here with a lot of excellent Jack and Jill teams. Just tell me how, going into that, you knew you had to be perfect.
We had to be perfect. He told me to kiss handles, so our little pep talk beforehand, and I think it went well. I think we anticipated the end a little bit.
Well, anticipating the end could cost you a little bit of time, and it may have cost them a few tenths of a second, maybe even a full second. This next heat, Nancy Zaleski and Chris Bradshaw taking on Mike Slingerland and Denise Ott. Should be a great heat. There's a couple of teams here like Nancy and Chris, first time sawing together.
Well, these competitors actually are all seasoned veterans in their own right, but first time they paired up here at Johnny Appleseed. Doing a great job here in the double buck. Jack and Jill, it looks like it's Nancy and Chris that are down first with a 6.7. Not a bad time at all by Mike Slingerland and his partner Denise.
Tough heat there, very close. Official results are still not in. Just tell me about your cut in general and the speed you and Chris worked together.
You know, I was actually really impressed with how we cut because this is the very first time we've ever cut together. So for us to mesh as well as we did, I kind of said, you know, don't go too fast for me. I'll keep up with you and we'll be okay. And I thought we cut really well. I was really happy with it, really pleased.
Well, they lowered the time to beat down to 6.77. Great job there by Nancy and Chris. This next heat, the final heat, Dave Jewett, Lindsey Dunn, they are world champions, taking on the Engassers. They've been sawing together forever.
Well, again, they've been seated this way. We've got seasoned veterans in this final heat. Both teams very capable of dropping this time now. That's 6.77 to beat, and they're off fast.
World champion cutters on the right-hand side. Lindsey Dunn in the purple, Dave Jewett on the right-hand side. They win the Jack and Jill Buck with a time of 5.81, just edging out the Engassers, who come in third place overall. Just tell me about the intensity and the level of working with Dave Jewett.
Oh, anytime in the Jack and Jill, you really got to up your game. There's such great competitors that you really have to always be on. Anytime you have a little slight moment off, you've lost the game. So, yeah, I think every time we come in, I think we expect a lot from each other, so that intensity is pretty strong.
Well, the Johnny Appleseed Festival certainly attracts a world-class field of competitors. Look at that, just over a second separates the top 5 competitors in the Jack and Jill Buck. And there it is, the double-bitted winning float from the Johnny Appleseed Festival Parade. Not the biggest axe in the world, that is in Nakawick, New Brunswick. Probably the second biggest axe in the world. We are heading into the men's endurance race. This is going to involve underhand chopping, standing block chopping, and single block chopping. And we have some of the biggest and the strongest guys here in North America.
When we talk about Squamish being the granddaddy of lumberjack shows across North America, Johnny Appleseed is now the one that most guys want to go to because of events just like this endurance. Underhand chopping, standing block chopping, and single buck. What a great race, and the guys have to be in great shape for it.
Great transition from Matt Coger over to the other side, and he looks like he's finished his underhand chop. In total, we had 28 competitors. We're showing you the top 2 heats. This one's focusing on Chris Bradshaw, Matt Coger. There's others on the stage as well. Cecil Starr is into the standing block. Matt Slingerland's into the standing block. Dave Jewett's really struggling.
And they're chopping 12 inches of nice white pine. And again, Matt Coger doing a great job on the far end of the stage. He's into his final blows here, driving it off. He's going to drive off his near wood. He's going to be driving his far wood. As Chris Bradshaw just getting into the small wood now.
Matt Coger breaks off the standing block. He's into the single buck first. Chris Bradshaw is trying to track him down right now. It's going to be a great race. A little bit of a struggle there for Coger, and Chris Bradshaw is making his way over to the single buck, and Cecil Starr is right with him.
So again, great race here, but Matt Coger way out in front. He's 2/3 of the way through this single buck. He's getting ready to drive it off now, and Matt Coger is going to finish first in this heat with a time of 1:02.6.
And you can see Dave Jewett in the middle of the screen there, just running out of gas. Matt, you won the heat with a quality field of competitors there, but I sense a little bit of frustration. Is it on your standing block you're a little bit frustrated, or what happened?
Yeah, I cut everything else really nice. You know, I went to the standing block, had a deep front end, I thought, and got to run the back, and you know, your body is just soaring for air, and your muscles are aching. And put a hit in the on the up hit, ended up glancing up to, ended up glancing and ended up hitting the nails. So axe will have a little bit of a redoing this winter.
Great job there by Matt Coger, setting the time to beat with a 1:02.68 in a grueling event called a men's endurance event. This next heat, we got 5 world-class choppers. We're going to be focusing on Jason Lenz and Arden Coger Jr.
But look, we have the 2 Canadian champs here. Marcel, the reigning Canadian champ. Mitch Hewitt, also a Canadian champ in his own right. And they're taking on the best of the U.S. in this heat. Looks like Jamie Coger's characteristic jump from side to side is the first one to turn.
Sloppy side there by Jason Lenz on the front side. You can see all kinds of missed hits. Fantastic transition for Arden Coger Jr. And Arden Coger is on the standing block chop as Jason Lenz is well behind at this point.
Nathan Waterfield already over. The two Canadians already in their standing block chop, so Jason Lentz has got a little bit of time to make up here as Arden Koger switches to side number 2 already in the men's endurance. All the other guys are all chopping on side 2.
Big 6'6" Jason Lenz trying to catch Arden Koger Jr. at this point. Koger Jr. putting some drivers in. Lenz breaks off first the standing block. He can't believe it. Koger Jr. struggling to break off. They're both heading over to the single buck. Mitch and Marcel and Nathan are right with them.
In the endurance race, of course, the old guys' lungs are really starting to burn. The young guys have the capacity, and look at this. It looks like Jason Lentz, he's 3/4 of the way through. Jamie Koger starting to slow down, but it's Jason Lentz, he's winning this in 103.4.
And it's going to be Matt Koger winning the men's endurance here at the Johnny Appleseed Festival. Jason, that was a real come-from-behind victory. You got to be a little bit frustrated with the underhand chop. At the underhand chop, you were well behind at that point.
Yeah, I just came back from Australia, and that was my second underhand this show, and it's totally different. I'm just not used to cutting softwood again, but made it up in the standing block. That was like the 6th one I've cut, so.
Well, what a tremendous second heat there, the Johnny Appleseed Festival in the men's endurance. 4 of the 5 guys in that heat finished on the board, with Matt Koger in the last heat winning it with a 102.68.
And the crown pivotal point today focuses on Jamie Koger, actually leading after the underhand chop, entering his best event, the standing block, has a really tough time with it, and winds up finishing 3rd in the endurance.
And the overall standings, just at the beginning stage of the Johnny Appleseed Festival, we got Arden Koger Jr., also known as Jamie Koger, leading the way with 125 points. We got a 4-way tie for second with 100, with a long way to go.
And no question, the K100 lumberjack of the day today is Mitch Hewitt with this spectacular chopping in the 3-board jigger board, winning the event at Johnny Appleseed.
And many thanks to Rick and Sandy Satili and Nathan Waterfield for putting on a tremendous competition. The Johnny Appleseed Lumberjack competition now into its 10th year, and we're just getting started. Come back again next week when it'll be time for Lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks is sponsored by Echo, only professional grade with 5-year warranty. Crown, protect, maintain, save. Quick Dam, the new alternative to heavy sandbags. Yamaha, rev your heart.
Coming to a lumberjack sports competition, the axe is our most important tool. When I come to a contest, I'll normally bring between 20 and 30 axes. And what I will do is I will first look at the species of timber that we're cutting, and then I will assess whether or not that timber is fresh or if it is dry. And then what I will do is I will see if the axes are filed on the edge or filed on the bevel, and that's what I'll use in the drier timbers. If it's polished, I will use that in the fresher timbers. And then I will dumpster dive after that, testing each of those axes in the wood to make sure that they are cutting.